Hello, my name is Kathy, and today I'll be discussing how to use homeopathic remedies on ailments, continuing with heart, blood, and circulatory ailments, starting with the letters A and P, L and P. But before I do this, I wanted to let you know that because I have a great many videos now on many different topics, that I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Please refer to my How to Use Homeopathic Remedies video before using the material in this video. I'll be discussing how to use homeopathic remedies on specific ailments, but I've broken these ailments into categories for easier reference. I'll begin with ailments of the mind and emotions. Then I'll move on to ailments of the brain and nervous system. Then I'll address issues with the skin, nails, hair, eyes, ears, nose, teeth, gums, lungs, respiration, heart, blood, circulation, muscles, bones, joints, esophagus, stomach, duodenum, small and large intestines, liver, gallbladder, and pancreas, kidney, bladder, and then ailments specific to women and specific to men, then issues of the hormones and the metabolism. Then I'll address the issues of homeopathic remedies on infections, infestations, and the immune system. Then issues surrounding fertility, pregnancy, and surrounding childbirth and postnatal problems. Then homeopathic remedies that address special problems in infants, ailments and diseases in childhood, and special issues of adolescence. And finally, special issues of the elderly. Constitutional treatment involves treating the totality of the individual person. Everyone is a unique individual with a unique physiology that responds to substances differently. In homeopathy, it's recognized that people who react strongly to certain remedies, and as a result of this, they can be loosely placed into different categories called constitutional types. Homeopaths talk of, for example, phosphoric types. These are people who react strongly to phosphorus, or arsenicum album types. Those who react strongly to arsenicum album. The belief is that people of one type share similarities in terms of body shape, character, and personality, and the sorts of diseases from which they suffer. As an example, Natrum Mur people tend to be pear-shaped, have a dark complexion, be fastidious and rigid in personality, and keep themselves to themselves. They also crave salt, and suffer from constipation. As another example, Lycopodium types tend to be tall, ganglion, of a stooped appearance, with an anxious expression and a craving for sweets, and a propensity to produce intestinal gas. Now, of course, constitutional types have their limitations. In reality, each person is an individual, and so there are as many constitutional types as there are human beings, and an account must be taken of the sum total of the person's inherent predispositions, past illnesses, diet, general reactions to the environment, intellectual and emotional features, and general attitude towards life. This is what is meant by constitutional treatment. I'll be making detailed videos of the various constitutional types after I've completed the use of homeopathic remedies on ailments. The ideas, procedures, and suggestions in this video and all my homeopathic videos are not intended as a substitute for the medical advice of a trained health professional. Consult your physician before adopting the suggestions in this video. If you're pregnant, do not attempt these techniques without the approval of your physician. So let's continue with learning how homeopathic treatments can help with heart, blood, and circulatory ailments, starting with the letters L and P. The heart is really two pumps, each composed of an upper and lower chamber and two valves, one between the upper and lower chamber and one at the exit from the lower chamber. The right side of the heart is the less muscular of the two pumps. It receives oxygen-depleted blood from the venous system and sends it to the lungs for oxygenation. The other half, the left side, receives oxygen-rich blood from the lungs and sends it shooting up through the aorta and around the whole body. Branching off the aorta are arteries and arterioles. Their walls are muscular and elastic and are designed to transmit the pumping force of the heart to the farthest reaches of the body. Blood is collected from every part of the body by venules and veins, which are thin-walled and have valves in them so that the blood can flow only one way, back to the heart. The pumping action of muscles helps to push blood through them. Connecting the smallest tributaries of the arterial and venous system are the capillaries. These are blood vessels so small that in major organs and muscles there are thousands of them per square inch. Oxygen-carrying red blood cells are pushed through them by the pulsing pressure of the heart. Blood pressure depends on three things: the tone of the artery walls, the pumping force of the heart, and the volume of blood in circulation. Generally speaking, blood pressure keeps up with age. This is because the kidneys become slightly less efficient at regulating the water content of the blood, and because arteries tend to become less elastic, thus forcing the heart to work harder. Blood is the body's universal transport system. It carries everything the body needs: oxygen, sugars, fats, proteins, hormones, minerals, clotting factors, antibodies, as well as everything that the body does not need, like carbon dioxide, other dissolved gases, urea, hostile microorganisms and their toxins, as well as general debris. A grown man has about 5 liters of blood in him and about 8% of his body weight. Plasma, a straw-colored fluid that is mostly a water, accounts for 55% of the blood volume. Red and white blood cells and platelets make up the rest. Red cells carrying oxygen bound to an iron containing a pigment called hemoglobin, and the platelets prevent blood loss by initiating the clotting process, far outnumber white blood cells, though during infection the latter multiply enormously. White blood cells are part of the immune system protecting the body against disease organisms. At the end of their useful life, which is seldom longer than 3 months, even in the healthiest of us, red and white blood cells are destroyed and recycled by the liver and spleen. Destruction must, of course, keep pace with creation. In a healthy individual, the bone marrow produces as many red blood cells as the spleen and liver destroy. The lymph glands, the glands that swell up during infection because they're busy producing a variety of white blood cells, are part of a secondary transport network called the lymphatic system. The spleen, tonsils, bone marrow, and thymus are also part of the thymatic system, the lymphatic system, whose vessels run to every part of the body. Lymph vessels have much thinner walls than veins, but like veins, they have one-way valves in them and depend on the pumping action of the muscles for their circulation. They transport lymphocytes to sites of injury and infection, collect emulsified fats from the small intestines, and drain fluid from the spaces between cells. This fluid contains proteins and other valuable substances that cannot be actively absorbed by the blood vessels. The contents of the lymphatic network eventually empty into the bloodstream through 2 ducts, one on either side of the neck at the junction of the subclavian and internal jugular veins. Lymphangitis. Lymphangitis is an inflammation of the lymph vessels that are visible as thin red lines under the skin. These radiate from the site of the infection, broken skin that is infected with streptococcus bacteria, for example, to the nearest lymph gland. To be on the safe side, see a doctor within 12 hours, as there is a risk of septicemia. If the inflammation is severe and a fever has set in, see a doctor within 2 hours. Doctors will probably prescribe antibiotics. While waiting for medical attention, try one of the remedies that follow. Specific remedy: to be taken every 10 minutes for up to 10 doses if inflammation is severe. For skin that is swollen and discolored, with discomfort that is relieved by pressure, with temperature starting to rise and worse on the right side of the body, use Crotalus 6C. That's Crotalus. Crotalus 6C. Other specific remedies: to be taken every hour for up to 10 doses. At the first sign of inflammation with the skin dry, hot, and tender, and the neighboring lymph glands swollen, use Belladonna 6C. If the left side of the body is most effective, with blue discoloration of the skin, and the symptoms are worse after sleep, use Lachesis 6C. For a thin red line, threading up the arms or legs from a septic lesion, use Hepar Sulph 6C. Palpitations. Heart palpitations are the sensation that the heart is beating irregularly, or faster, or more forcefully than it should, giving the level of activity demanded of it. It may be a symptom of heart disease, or an overactive thyroid gland, or a food allergy. A high fever can also disrupt the heartbeat. Heart palpitations brought on by anxiety or overconsumption of caffeine and nicotine are nothing to worry about unless a heart condition already exists. If the palpitations are accompanied by chest pain, difficulty breathing, dizziness, sweaty, or fainting, see a doctor within 2 hours and select a remedy from the following. Where anxiety is a major factor, constitutional homeopathic treatment is recommended. Specific remedies to be taken every 5 minutes for up to 6 doses as soon as the heart palpitations come on. For palpitations after overindulgence in food or alcohol, or after a prolonged expenditure of nervous energy and the person feels chilly and irritable, use Nux 6C. For violent palpitations made worse by lying on the left side and distinctly worse just before a period, with dizziness, shortness of breath, and flatulence, use Cactus 6C. For fainting and a constricted feeling in the chest and anxiety, especially during menopause, use Lachesis 6C. For palpitations brought on by hysteria or exposure to cold, with trembling heart, weak pulse, and fainting, use Moschus 6C. For palpitations that seem to shake the entire body, with constricted feeling in the chest and heart, and for the chest, and heat and sympathy make the discomfort worse, use Natrum Mur 6C. For palpitations brought on by heat or rich fatty foods and general weakness, use Pulsatilla 6C. For breath that smells foul and the person is thirsty for drinks of hot water, which seem to have a calming effect on the heart, use Spigelia 6C. For palpitations that begin with a feeling that the heart has stopped, then the person feels that slightest movement might make the heart stop, use Digitalis 6C. For palpitations that come on suddenly, especially after a shock, with a fear of dying, use Aconite 6C. I have a great many videos now on many different topics, so I've decided to make several different video playlists so that it's easier to find the videos of greatest interest. So please check out my playlist page. Well, that's it for now. To stay up to date with my latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this free YouTube channel by clicking the red subscribe button right below this video. Take care.